You know, it really feels like we're living in a world where feelings often shout louder than facts, right? Have you ever just stopped and wondered, how did we even get here? Well, today we're going to dive right into this whole post-truth era. We're going to figure out what it is, where it came from, and most importantly, how we can all get a little bit smarter about navigating this crazy new information landscape.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. First up, we're going to pin down exactly what we mean by post-truth. Then we'll do a little time traveling to see where these ideas actually started. After that, we'll get real about the dangers of a society where truth feels, well, optional. And finally, we'll arm ourselves with a framework to actually push back.
So let's talk about post-truth. I mean, you've probably heard this term thrown around constantly, on the news, online, pretty much everywhere. But what are people actually talking about? Let's get right to it.
This right here is the official definition from Oxford Dictionaries. And they should know. They actually named it the 2016 Word of the Year. Now, the most important word to focus on here is less. It's not that facts have become totally useless, but they're losing their power. They're being pushed aside by our gut feelings and what we want to believe. It's a really subtle, but wow, what a profound shift.
And yeah, 2016, that was really the tipping point. You had the Brexit vote over in the UK and the US presidential election. Both were just packed with intense emotion and this really deep mistrust of the establishment. This was the perfect storm for post-truth to just explode onto the scene.
I mean, just look at this number. A 2,000% increase in a single year. This wasn't some slow, gradual change. It was a wildfire. And it was really fed by this growing feeling that the people in charge, the experts, weren't giving us the full picture. That created this huge vacuum that got filled by appeals to our identity, to our emotions.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we got to talk about two different things: misinformation and disinformation. Think of it like this. Misinformation is like you accidentally give someone the wrong directions. It's just a mistake, no harm intended. But disinformation, that's like you intentionally send them down a dead-end road just to mess with them. It is all about the intent to deceive, and it's a really powerful weapon in the post-truth era.
But here's the thing, and this might surprise you. This whole idea of a post-truth world, it didn't just spring out of nowhere in 2016. Not even close. In fact, deep thinkers and writers have been warning us that this could happen for decades.
You can actually see this path laid out over decades. As far back as 1972, the famous political thinker Hannah Arendt was writing about the dangers of what she called defactualization. Then you jump to 1992, and the playwright Steve Tisich. He actually coins the term post-truth. He was describing a world where we, the public, have basically decided we'd rather live with comforting ideas than hard truths.
So let's zoom in on that idea from Arendt, defactualization. This isn't just about simple lying. No, this is about creating an environment where it becomes almost impossible to tell what's real and what's not. It's like you're in a hall of mirrors, and every reflection is distorted. How are you supposed to find the true image? That's defactualization.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Arendt didn't just blame our emotions. She also called out the problem solvers in government. The ones who get so obsessed with their own neat and tidy theories and data models that they just start ignoring any messy real-world facts that don't fit.
Okay, so we've seen where this stuff comes from. But why does it matter? I mean, what's the big deal about truth decay? Well, it turns out the stakes are incredibly high. The consequences are very, very real, and they touch every part of our lives.
I mean, think about it. When we can't even agree on basic facts, how can we have a real conversation about anything important? It makes us so much easier to manipulate. We start to lose trust in the very institutions, like science or journalism, that are supposed to help us make sense of the world. Frankly, it's a recipe for chaos.
The historian Timothy Snyder, he does not pull any punches here. He's basically saying that when we give up on truth, we're opening the door for anyone who can spin the most compelling story or the most powerful myth. And when that happens, who needs laws? Who needs facts? All that matters is the myth.
So what do we do? How do we push back against something that feels so big? Is it just about, getting better at fact-checking? Well, while that's super important, let's be clear, it's not enough. To really get at the root of this, we have to go deeper.
This is where an idea called critical pedagogy comes in, and it pushes us to ask way better questions than just, is this true or false? It encourages us to start asking things like, okay, who benefits if I believe this version of the truth? Or whose perspective is being promoted here, and whose is being completely ignored? See, it's all about digging into the power dynamics behind the information.
All right, so let's get practical. Let's turn this into a framework, a set of tools you can actually use every single day to deal with the flood of information that's constantly coming at you.
So here it is, a 4-step guide. Number 1, question the whole idea of a single objective truth. Ask yourself, how is this fact put together? Whose truth is it? 2, look for who's missing from the story, whose voice isn't being heard. 3, follow the power. Who gets richer or more powerful if you believe this? And finally, number 4, zoom out. Look at the bigger systems, like social media algorithms or the 24-hour news cycle that actually make post-truth profitable.
And this is the big shift. This is the whole point, really. It's about changing your role from being just a passive consumer of information to being an active investigator. The question isn't just, is it true? The better question is, why this truth, and why right now? It's about taking back control.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one question to mull over. In this new era, is the real goal to find the one single capital T truth? Or is it maybe more important to understand the power, the motives, and the money behind all the different truths we're being sold every day? Answering that for yourself, well, that could change how you see everything.